All right, Raptors fans, it's finally happened. And it's OG moving on to the Knicks for Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and an early second-round pick, as that second-round pick is coming from the Pistons. So you could say it's kind of, maybe like a late first kind of value-wise. And joining OG to the Knicks is Precious and Malachi Flynn. First off, from a New York Knicks perspective, I feel like Knicks fans should love this trade. OG is the perfect plug-and-play player. Like you could literally drop him in any lineup and he'll immediately make them better. We're talking an all-NBA defender, has great size, athleticism, can spot up and hit the corner three. There are some game aspects of his game you want to see, a little bit more developed. But in Toronto, he hasn't really had that role to do that, which is part of the reason why, he's likely on the move. And, I think this is telling for Raptors fans that OG probably wasn't going to re-sign in Toronto. Maybe he would have, but, the fact that he's on the move tells me that they did not feel very confident of OG sticking around. But yes, OG should complement that Knicks lineup greatly, and hopefully they can get him signed in the summer. On top of OG, Precious, he's a bit of a lottery ticket, and he's a little bit more of a lottery ticket. He was a lottery ticket when the Raptors got him in the Kyle Lowry trade. I love Precious. I really think there's something there. It's just, I don't know if it's consistency. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if he just needs more development. But Precious he shows you flashes that he could be a really special player. So the Knicks got, a nice little project to work on for the value they had to give up to get OG. And then Malachi, it just really didn't work out in Toronto. Maybe it works out with New York, and maybe Tibbs can get him a role that's, to his liking. But I would imagine Malachi's happy to be out of Toronto. And if the Knicks are going to give OG more opportunities, I would imagine OG's probably pretty happy too. But yeah, let's talk about the Raptors. So OG expiring contract. Last year is where the Knicks were offering, I believe, 3 late firsts and Evan Fournier. This package is better in my opinion. You just got better value assets than those late firsts, right? Like RJ Barrett, solid player, and maybe coming home, change of scenery. Maybe the Raptors can unlock a little bit more development there. But the real prize is Immanuel Quickley. He definitely fills a much needed need on this team, and it'll be interesting to see his chemistry with Scottie Barnes. And, this move, not only are we getting back some assets for OG, which, good thing we learned our lesson from last year and we watched Fred walk for nothing. This really is Scottie Barnes' team, and what pieces can we put around Scottie to make him more successful? I know getting rid of technically the best player in the deal is OG, but long run wise, hopefully the shakeup here and the addition of Quickley and Barrett could have some positive effects for the Raptors, and not only that, but for Scottie's continued development. It's kind of shocking we got the trade so early. Like, Darko finally just adjusted his lineup. I figured they, roll with some different lineup combinations with the players just to see, if there's something else there. Because at the end of the day, I always have trouble giving up, a lot of these deals, right? When you're the one who's always giving up the best player in the trade, when you get something back for that, a lot of the times, they're not sure things. And last thing you want to be doing is giving up sure things for, maybes. And, the fact they pulled the trigger so quickly on this it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. I don't know if the Knicks were pressuring them to make timeline. And then on top of that too, the fact they're trading with the Knicks, who they have ongoing lawsuits against each other. Two organizations that obviously don't like each other and rivals. And these are the ones who are able to get together on a pretty fair trade on both sides. So it looks like cooler heads were able to prevail, at least on the trade front. With this move, probably means we might see some more Grady Dick finally coming back up and getting some minutes. Again, the biggest problem with the Raptors, it's been beaten to death over the last, ever since the championship team, was shooting. The spacing issues because of the lack of shooting. Getting Quickley in there. RJ's, he's league average, it appears, at, 3-point shooting, stuff like that. So hopefully he's not clogging up the space too much. And then if Grady Dick could come up with some more confidence and start draining some buckets, to go with Scottie's newfound. Like when Scottie drops back for a 3 now, like my mind is just, I'm like, that's going in. Whereas like even last year it was like, oh, Scottie, I don't know if I want you to be taking that, to now where it's like funnel everything through Scottie. So, from a development standpoint with Scottie and maybe the future of this team, things are looking up. So it'll be exciting to see what Quickley can do and see how quickly he can assimilate into Darko's scheme and how the chemistry builds with Scottie. But definitely excited for that. And that leaves us with 2 big questions after this move. Number 1, Pascal Siakam. I know a lot of people wanted to see Pascal as the one traded. I know a lot of people don't think Pascal and Scottie can really coexist all that great, and they wanted to see the OG Scottie team, throughout the future. But now with it being OG gone, I've always thought, like Pascal, no matter what people want to say again, the guy's a star. It's hard to get guys like that in your building. So the fact that we have one in Pascal and then we got Scottie, like, are they the perfect pieces together? No, but is there a way that you can make them fit? Is it coaching? Is it scheming? Is it roster construction? There's got to be a way to make those 2 guys work because, like I said, it's easier to have the stars than it is to try to want the stars. So I'm hoping Scottie's here to actually stay. It'll be interesting to see if, I believe today's the deadline for extensions. See if something gets worked out. It's kind of crazy how they've been treating Pascal, like have had no dialogue extensions. They've just been kind of stringing him along. He's wanted to stay in Toronto. Toronto people always whine about no one ever wants to stay in Toronto, and you got a legit star who wants to stay, but yet people want to run him out of town, which is crazy. But yeah, maybe they could get something here now with Pascal and lock him up. And then secondly, tonight we have the second leg of the back-to-back against the Pistons. And we are now going to be down 3. Not only is it a back-to-back for the Raptors, but we are going to be down 3 players. So all eyes will be watching to see if that Pistons losing streak continues or if the Raptors will be the team that stops it. That's going to wrap it up for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this trade. Personally, it's sad to see OG go, but something had to be done. And if you had any inclination he was not going to sign, you got to make this move. And if this was the move they made, then I feel pretty good about it. I would imagine the Raptors feel pretty good about it. And I think a lot of this trade is about getting Immanuel Quickley and how he could potentially change this roster. And with us giving him actual minutes and, a prime spot in that starting rotation, can he kind of take that next step like other younger players have later in their career after a change of scenery?